Hello? Can you hear me now? Ladies, gentlemen, we're going to begin the formal portion of our celebration here this afternoon. So, on behalf of my colleague, Dr. Rosemary Johnson, and myself, Colleen Sexton, we are the we're your hosts for this afternoon. But I really wanted to say that um, we really spend the majority of our time just really supporting Beth and everything that she's been able to do since she came to the provost office. So, on behalf of myself and the work we do in the provost office, I can't say enough wonderful things about Dr. Beth Cada. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with her over these last few years. And I don't even want to say goodbye because I'm just going to say I'll see you in a different capacity in a few weeks. But we're very happy and pleased and proud to have served with her and wish you all the best, Beth. And we'll get into the details of what happens next after Rosemary speaks.
Yes, when we were planning this, we were convinced that all we had to do was get a place and a time, and all kinds of people would come to celebrate Beth. And obviously, that is the case. It's great to see so many people here. Um, Beth's contributions to the university are, we're not going to start enumerating them, or we would be here all night. But we do have a video that we're going to show for you, which includes some perspective on different stages of her career, different aspects of her contributions. And then we will have a brief presentation. And then President Cheryl Green is here. She will offer some remarks. And then we'll give Beth a chance to talk. Um, and we wanted to keep the opportunities for circulation as much as possible because we know so many people want to wish Beth well as she goes off on her retirement. So we designed the program in this way to follow on what Colleen said. I am dressed all in black. This is a sign of how I feel about Beth leaving. Yes, but she has trained us well, and we will persevere. So one other thing that we would like to mention on the invitation for the event, there was a link to the video tribute and an online greeting card. Many of you have availed yourselves of those already. If you haven't, those are going to be there until the beginning of next week, so you can still go in and do that. We also want to mention the scholarship fund in honor of Beth and her work at campus. The scholarship fund will be for students in occupational therapy, and you can donate through the foundation. So we encourage everyone to do that. Yes, there's the information on the scholarship fund.
All right, so we'll just ask you for the next few minutes to call your attention to the two TV monitors up front, and we will have our video tribute, and then we'll have occupational therapy leadership and faculty to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Randy Strickland, and I'm a longtime friend of Dr. Elizabeth M. Keda. And I'm so pleased to have the opportunity today of sharing reflections of Beth's national service to occupational therapy. Our colleague and dear friend, Dr. Elizabeth M. Keda, Beth, it's noteworthy of how her service to the profession of occupational therapy has made such a tremendous contribution in her role as program director, dean, and provost at GSU. And as Beth would undoubtedly add, service is most important when it serves the common good. And today, I would like to highlight her service from a national and international perspective. In the early 80s, Beth was the Illinois elected representative to the Occupational Therapy Association Representative Assembly. As Illinois representative, She helped to develop and establish priorities for the occupational therapy profession. Later, she was elected by the Representative Assembly to serve as its recorder and then speaker. She also served in turn as a member of the AOTA Executive Board for 6 years. As a leader of the association's executive board, she was a key person in helping to establish an expanded scope of practice for occupational therapy and the establishment of an independent certification board for entry-level occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants. Following her terms as speaker and recorder and member of the AOTA Executive Board, Beth continued as a member of NBCOT, serving as its president. Her leadership at AOTA and NBCOT would have been just noteworthy in and of itself. But what's so important to consider is that Beth skillfully, graciously, and ethically provided the example of making difficult decisions. During this time of national service to her profession, she continued to connect her role as an educator, scholar, and academic administrator. Let there be no doubt that GSU was her and is her number one focus. And she was able to help to connect the university with other communities of similar interests throughout the world. She further provided support to the American Occupational Therapy Foundation. In her duties as dean and later provost, she expanded her role, and it would have been so easy for her to become less involved in her profession and academic discipline. But that is not the case for Dr. Cada, but she continues to serve the wider and broader academic community and GSU. There's her tireless advocacy for voices of all to be heard, valued, and considered. Her tenacity for seeking the truth to best serve the community needs is her true mode of operation in a collaborative spirit. And lastly, her apparent good humor, friendship, and goodwill for all is readily apparent. All of these characteristics have served the OT profession well. On a personal note, as if this tribute has not been so, I finally remember Beth's dad once saying to me that even as a child, she was a sweet little thing. And you know, Dad, you had it right. Her service afar and near confirms the goodness of Dr. Beth Cada, and that goodness prevails. And like the biblical sowed mustard seed, her influence upon others and organizations will continue for years to come. Beth, thank you for all of your service, friendship. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
In 1995, Governor State University sought an occupational therapist to develop and lead an entry-level occupational therapy program. Ideally, they sought a national, statewide, and locally known occupational therapist with clinical expertise, academic skills, and multiple local, state, and national contacts. They also needed someone with political savvy. Elizabeth A. Keda was just the person. In the position of inaugural director, Beth recruited faculty and began program development. In 1998, the Accreditation Council on Occupational Therapy Education awarded initial accreditation with the graduation of the first cohort. 100% of the graduates passed the national certification exam and entered practice to serve the health and well-being of the region. The program has maintained accreditation, and 22 cohorts have graduated from this program to date. In 2010, Beth's insight and leadership led to the development and approval of a post-professional occupational therapy program and approved doctoral degree, the DROT. Beth's leadership and dedication to excellence in teaching, research, and community service attracted outstanding faculty and students. From the beginning, Beth promoted excellence in teaching through faculty development, active participation in professional organizations, conferences, grant writing, service learning, research, and publications. Excellence in teaching also requires flexible functional labs for students to learn and practice the evaluation, adaptation, and teaching skills needed to develop a level of independence and function with their future clients. Beth joined her colleagues to champion the renovation of the E and F Wing science labs and secured approval and funding for a full apartment lab, fabrication lab, and flexible classroom. Beth worked with the library staff to enhance the library holdings relative to the 2 occupational therapy programs and promoted the use of the library for faculty, students, program graduates, and our fieldwork partners. Beth and faculty built strong community fieldwork connections based on a unique and reciprocal sharing of knowledge with experience between the program and the professional community. As a leader in grant application at the level of NIH, HRSA, U.S. Department of Education, and the Kresge Foundation, Beth promoted excellence in research. MOT students joined faculty in IRB-approved research. Through doctoral studies and research, the DROT students explored new avenues of practice, education, leadership, health and wellness, from the philosophical and science base of occupational therapy. Under Beth's leadership, faculty and the MOT and DROT students' research has been selected for international, national, and state presentations. Beth led by example in promoting community service. The Student Occupational Therapy Association, faculty-guided student activities, and faculty have supported local community partnerships as well as the GSU community through fundraising and volunteer efforts. Examples are projects for children enrolled in local community special education, including costume and holiday parties and a high school prom. Community service projects extend to the well elderly of the surrounding communities through church and library activities, on aging in place, participation in senior meal site service, and community visits. In summary, Beth's leadership has built strong traditions that foster student, family, friends, and colleague relationships. Traditions include MOT Research Day, the pinning ceremony, participation in GSU Research Day, and in commencement. Beth's leadership and passion for the students and their success has built a strong occupational therapy program that has put GSU on the map as a premier occupational therapy program and has enhanced the health and well-being of the region and beyond. Based on this strong foundation, when Beth was called on to lead the College of Health Sciences, the occupational therapy programs continued under the leadership of Dr. Catherine Brady and now under the leadership of myself, Dr. Karen Schranz. And Beth, I hope I can lead half as well as you did.
Hello, I am Catherine Balthazar, Dean of the College of Health and Human Services at Governor State University. As we celebrate Beth Cada and the many years of dedicated service she has given us at GSU, I am delighted to have the opportunity to speak about her as a leader. I think that most of the individual meetings I had with Beth have qualified as customized intervention. Those conversations have most certainly helped me to reach my goals and to evaluate how things were going and whether my actions were helping to achieve the desired outcomes. One thing that stands out about her style of mentoring is that she rarely gives direct advice, but more typically presents a problem and asks a question. As she listens and prompts, calmly guiding, you are led to construct a solution that is shaped as much by your own principles and personality as it is by her knowledge and experience. She has a way of empowering the individual to make decisions and take actions and become independent. Beth's style of mentoring has much in common with coaching in this respect. And like a good coach, she has a knack for analyzing not just individual characteristics, but those of a whole team or of an academic unit or of a university. She is adept at understanding the complexities of a system with a very pragmatic approach that gets to the heart of what is or is not functioning. As she is preparing for transitioning to retirement, Beth Cada has been preparing us to move forward as a team to reach our goals and help GSU flourish in her wake. She has helped each of us grow as leaders and as human beings. And like a good occupational therapist, she has made certain that we can continue to participate in our occupations with the maximum amount of functionality. Beth, your academic proteges and colleagues are grateful for your leadership, mentoring, and friendship. We know you will continue to be invested in us and in GSU, and we wish you many years of joy in the things that will now occupy you. Congratulations and thank you.
We want to really thank those people who stepped forward and shared their heartfelt thoughts about Beth and all her various leadership positions throughout her long career, 25 of which have been with us here at GSU. I would be remiss if I didn't identify and ask to come up to the stage right now our other co-planner, aside from Rosemary and myself, and this is Dr. Catherine Brady, Emeritus professor here, formerly at Governor State. She is the former occupational therapy chair and has been directly responsible for most of the members of the audience who know Beth really well, whether you're with us virtually or here live. We appreciate your attendance and recognizing Beth. So Catherine, please.
Thank you. I'd like to call two faculty, current faculty, but also first faculty hired by Dr. Keda in 1996, Professor Calvledge and Dr. Carr, and also the current chair, Dr. Schrantz, to please come forward. Dr. Schrantz, we'd like to give to you a plaque that is going to hang in what we call the Hall of Graduates that honors Dr. Keda as the founder of the occupational therapy program here at Governor State. And if you would please read so Dr. Keda knows what we're saying about her.
Elizabeth Beth A. Cada, founder of the occupational therapy programs, thank you for your vision and dedication.
Beth will prominently place us in the department, and we thank you for everything you've done for us.
Okay, we also want to mention the wonderful people at DLMD who worked with the contributors to the video, and in conjunction with ITS are beaming this out to there are quite a few remote audience members, including some extended members of Beth's family. So we always appreciate the assistance of DLMD. Next on the program, we have GSU President Dr. Cheryl Green, who is going to make a few remarks about Beth. I'm sure many of you who are here were at the investiture events last week. For those of you who are external, Dr. Green joined us as president last summer, but because of COVID, did not have the formal investiture, and we had those events last week. And I imagine Dr. Green is still feeling transcendent. They were wonderful events. So, Dr. Green, if you would like to come on up and say a few things about Dr. Kada.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, it does feel good to come down off of my investiture and continue the spirit of celebration, continue the spirit of recognition and honor, and extend it to my colleague and my co pilot, Dr. Beth Cada. I want, a provost is really the chief on a campus when it comes to academics, when it comes to employee groups, when it comes to instruction, when it comes to the spirit of the campus. And I just want to acknowledge that Beth Cada had a hard job. Number one, she led the development of the remote academic instruction when the pandemic hit in the spring of 2019. She did that in partnership with the academic deans, with the administration, with all of the faculty who were committed to continuing instruction, and with the staff who had to service our students in a totally new format. But she led that development and she did it extremely well. Um, Governor State University actually is a model of how we pivoted and how we changed so that we could meet the new realities of the pandemic and its impact on our campus. She also led the development of the fall operating plan for 2020 and 2021. You can applaud that. She has not stopped. She continues to serve, continue to plan, continue to develop, continue to innovate for Governor State University. And it had absolutely nothing to do with me. It had to do with her commitment to her profession. It had to do with her commitment to Governor State University, the love of her life for the last 25 years. Excuse me, Mr. Cada. Um, she also had the job of a recent endeavor, a recent innovation that I mentioned during my investiture. Beth Cada and Paul Balaska were the brainchild behind the development of our very own self-testing center for COVID-19. You just heard about her extensive background in occupational therapy. You just heard about her leadership role as a health advocate in the state of Illinois. And so it's no surprise that she organized Dean Baltazar and the members of the College of Health and Human Services and all of the faculty that I named previously across the divisions, the other deans, information technology, procurement, and so on and so forth. This was an all campus effort, but it was led by the brainchild of Beth Cada. So Beth Cada started with innovation and pioneering and occupational therapy for Governor State University. And as recently as a couple of weeks ago, her career culminates with this hallmark venture for the university that we're so proud of. So she's had three really tough jobs in the last 2 years, leading the remote academic instruction initiatives, leading the fall operations plan in conjunction with human resources and other critical stakeholders on campus, leading the development of the COVID-19 self test center. And the hardest job that she's had was not any of those three initiatives. The hardest job that she's had was transitioning a new president. I've tried to make it easy, but new presidents are a lot of work. And we met often. We called each other in the middle of the night often. Excuse me, Mr. Cada, and excuse me, grandchildren. And even when Beth traveled to deal with other matters that were important to her, she was always a phone call away. She never, ever took her heart and her mind off of GSU, and it shows in everything that she does. I admire her for being a pioneer for health advocacy and policy. I admire her for being an innovator for Governor State University. I admire her for being a great grandma, and Lily is the best example of that. You can applaud that. Take your bows, Lily. I will miss her leadership. I will miss her strong guidance and advice, but I will not miss the impact that she's had at Governor's State University, because all of you reflect her impact. All of you are repositories of what she poured into Governor State University. We are better off because of her leadership and her service, and we are well positioned for the 21st century and the next 25 years at Governor State University. I just want to thank Dr. Cater for her years of service to the university. Thank you.
So without Beth, please don't sit down. Without further ado, I think we need to hear from our guest of honor, Dr. Elizabeth Beth Cada.
Thank you. Well, as I'm looking around here, this is just an awesome party. So I want to thank you all for coming out today. Nothing is more exciting to gather those that I've had the opportunity to work with, and to teach and to research with, and just generally to visit with. This is a fantastic GSU community. So I think today when we're here and we can celebrate, and I think it's been a nice run of celebrations for those of you that have had the opportunity to celebrate um, our Nathan Manilow Park a couple weeks ago, and of course, investiture of President Green, which I thought was a real pivotal event for this campus. So, seeing you here today and that we're here celebrating, I'm looking around the area and I see those colleagues that I work with every day, but I also see colleagues that I've worked with who've come back for this party today. So, that's pretty exciting. So, Hey, Robert. So, in the 25 years I've been here, I've had the real opportunity to come to this campus, to learn about this campus, to be totally enchanted by this campus, and also to really see my home here in this campus. When I came here, I have to tell you, I was not thinking about a career as an educator. I had a very satisfying career as an occupational therapist. I had the opportunities to teach at the University of Illinois in the city. I also had the opportunity to lead some very major grants there. And I really could really see the power of education. And I really admired the faculty, and I really admired the fact that occupational therapy was on the move. It was a growing profession, and there was more needs for occupational therapists. I got a call from the president of the university, who's some of you will remember was Paula Wolf, and she asked if I would be interested in coming talking about starting an occupational therapy program here. And I thought that there was probably a lot of other people that were better qualified than myself for that, but I did come and have the conversation. And I was totally intrigued with the mission of GSU. I really could see how having an occupational therapy program and a companion physical therapy program would be really good for this region. So I was totally taken in at that. Also, I was joining a college of health professions at that time that was very strong. And for Patty and Cynthia and Karen, who were here in the beginning, I want to thank Dr. Annie Lawrence, who was a champion for us, our nursing colleague, but the division chair for our college. So we were able to grow our occupational therapy program, and subsequently we were able to add a post-professional doctoral program, which was very exciting. And when I think about the students that have graduated from that program, I'm really pleased to know that they stay here in our region and they serve the Southland region. So that's very exciting, because at the time that we started the program 25 years ago, there was a real shortage of healthcare professionals. There's still a shortage, but we have really contributed over the years here at Governor's State. When I had the opportunity to step into the dean's position, it was wonderful because I was able to continue to work with not only the occupational therapy program, but the other programs in the college, which of course are outstanding. I'm a little biased because College of Health and Human Services. But then when I became the provost and I had the opportunity to not only work with the College of Health and Human Services, but also get to know all the other faculty and staff and students here at the college. Okay. Thank you, Heather. So it's been really a pleasure in this role as a provost. There's not too many people that get to talk about such a satisfying career. You know, I can talk about two satisfying careers that have really joined themselves together. And so I was just thinking about this morning, and this will be telling on me a little bit, but it has been, I think I have been an occupational therapist now for 48 years. And I'm still licensed. I haven't practiced recently, but you know, there's always that retirement opportunity, right? To do that. And so I really appreciated to have a very strong base in my own discipline, and then be able to really expand and enlarge that through my opportunities here at the university. So I want to thank my colleagues in the OT faculty, some of them who are present right here. Let's give them a big hand. I'm really excited to see some of my professional friends, but I'm also excited to see some former faculty that are here today. So thank you for coming. I want to thank all my colleagues in the College of Health and Human Services, because many of my colleagues who were chairs tolerated me as dean. We were chairs together, and then I became the dean, so that was fun. And then when I became the provost, I have to really thank the academic affairs leadership team, and that of course are all the deans: Andre Merrick from College of Arts and Sciences, Shannon Dermer from the College of Education, Kathy Balthazar, as she mentioned, from College of Health and Human Services, and June Zhao from the College of Business, and then, of course, our library, interim dean, Rosemary Johnson. Also, extended learning, Amy Barshaw, who's an important member. And a year ago, I was so excited because Corey Williams and Paul McGinnis, Corey Williams from the Student Affairs and Paul from Enrollment Management came home to join Academic Affairs again. So the group was complete. So they are top notch. Everyone that works in the units in Academic Affairs, of course, you know, you don't want to be biased, but they're top notch. But I have to say that about every faculty and staff and student at this university. We have a fantastic community. We have a new president. I'm excited to say, or maybe I should say, you know, I've been here a long time when I can say that I've been able to work with 4 of the 6 presidents here at Governor State University. So that's a real opportunity. And I'm very excited about the vision President Green has presented to us all. And I think that Governor State University is going to be soaring to the heights. I want to thank our Board of Trustee members that are here. I see several of them. For all the support that we receive here at the university, and particularly the support in the academic affairs area. And of course, I have other colleagues here, people from the OT community, so thank you very much, and other colleagues. But of course, I want to thank my family, because they have to put up with me on a regular basis. So of course, and will you please stand up so I can just introduce you to everybody? I know how I always put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it again. So I have my 2 kids here, Paul, my son, my daughter, Amy, my granddaughter, Lily, my favorite son-in-law, Nathan. And, you know, let's have a shout out to Paul's wife, Tristan. She's at home teaching kindergarten, so she wasn't able to join us today. And of course, my husband, Ken, who has to put up with me the most. And I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I've been able to do without the support of the family. So let's give it to the family. I won't embarrass my husband, but I'll say that we've been married for 46 years. So in spite of everything, we just had our anniversary. So in spite of everything, he still stays with me when I go through all these different jobs, and I'm getting phone calls in the middle of the night. And so he's a keeper, you know. And then, you know, I'm looking at Amy and Paul when I came down here, and I won't tell you what their age is now, but you can do the math. But Amy was a sophomore in high school, and Paul was in 8th grade. And you can see now that they're all grown up. So I think it's time maybe for me to spend a little bit more time with the family. So get ready. Here I come. So thank you all for coming today, and enjoy yourself at the party. I want to really thank the party planners, Catherine Brady, Karen Caesar, Colleen Sexton, Rosemary Johnson. And I want to say an extra shout out to the 2 associate provosts, because not only do they party plan very well, but when I talked about the academic affairs leadership team, really they're the heart and soul of what happens in the provost's office. So I want to thank you for that. And I also want to shout out here to Veronica Hunt and Monica Holden, because you know they know what's happening at all times. So anyway, enjoy yourself. I hope I get to talk with you. I'm looking forward to that. For those of you who have appointments with me up till 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, we'll still be there, right? We'll still be rocking, and I'm looking forward to my retirement, but I'm also looking forward to staying connected with the university. So I want to also thank my cabinet colleagues, because I know that President Green's building a very strong team. And so I'm going to do whatever I can to support them in this transition. So thank you very much, and enjoy yourself.
Okay, Beth would love to have her photo taken with you. I was not authorized to say that. She's at this table with her family up in the front corner. As I said at the beginning, we wanted to allow lots of time for people to mingle and meet Beth's family and offer congratulations to her. Beth has been such an asset to this institution. We are going to miss her, but we're going to make her keep in touch. And I know that everyone who's here will continue the good work that she started here at GSU through all of us, looking towards what's best for GSU students. So thanks to all of you for coming. Please do swing by and have your photo taken with Beth. Okay, our wonderful photographer suggests that if everyone would like to make their way up to the stage, he can try and get a group shot that has the party attendees with Beth. So come on up.